Common Legend is a podcast for everyone.
Hello and welcome to The Common Legend, where legends are more common than you may think. This week, my guest is Evie McQueen. Evie, so good to see you. How you doing?
Good.
Good. Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. I think it's really great and brave of you, to come in the public eye and agree to let me ask you some questions. As a transgender woman in America right now, it's pretty turbulent.
That's putting it light, yeah.
Yeah. So we know each other through Tom, TJ. I'm the one guy that gets to call him Tom, apparently.
I call him TJ Thomas when I'm mad.
Yeah. TJ Thomas. That's his full name.
Yeah.
And me and Tom met at a mental health recovery facility. And you've been Tom's partner for how long now?
Almost 11 years now.
Wow. That's huge.
Yeah.
Anything that lasts over 10 years, it's impressive.
Well, I mean, it's been like 2 breakups, but, back together within like 3 days,
Well, at least it's not like 2 a week, because I've seen couples like that.
Right.
Yeah. But it's impressive. So we know each other through Tom, who was on the first episode of The Common Legend, actually, if you want to go back, see it.
I actually saw it today the first time.
Did you?
I did.
Did you watch the video or listen to it?
I watched the video, yeah.
Cool, yeah.
Because I signed up for Instagram for the first time today, and I was like, that's right here.
There it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, great. What'd you think about it? Hearing your partner share stories and stuff.
It was great. I'm glad he could, talk to somebody about it.
Yeah. Well, I think everyone can talk. They just need the opportunity,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like, how often are people asking you questions about yourself? Everyone wants to have questions asked of them, Yeah. All right. So, Evie, how old are you?
I will be 39 in July, yeah.
You don't look a day over 25.
I've been told that one.
And where are you from?
Originally from Colorado.
Okay.
Aurora.
Yep. All right.
And then I moved to Minnesota to be with my mom. And when my mom and dad split up. And I've been here ever since.
Okay. How old were you when you moved here then?
I think I was like 6.
Okay. And so you said you moved here to be with your mom? So she lived in Minnesota, so you were living with your dad in Colorado? Okay.
Yep.
All right. And this has been your home ever since?
Yeah.
Yeah. What part of the city did you call home growing up here?
Apple Valley.
Apple Valley? Okay. You went to school out there?
Yep, I went to Eastview, high school, and Scott Highlands Middle School.
Okay. Great. And then I know just through a mutual friend of ours that you went to Zoo School, which is an alternative school education program for high schoolers at the Minnesota Zoo.
It is. It was an awesome program, and my daughter got the luck of going too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's generational now. You're starting traditions. That's
Exactly.
super cool. Yeah. So you have a daughter. How old's your daughter?
Actually, I have 2 daughters.
Okay.
One just turned 12 and the other just turned 18.
Oh, one's a full-fledged adult now?
Yeah.
So how's it feel having your first baby leave the nest?
Nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I bet. Oh, my God.
I'm like,
The world's
wow.
terrifying.
Like, she doesn't know how to do this yet. Like,
Yeah.
she's still getting her license. I'm like, she's like, you're going to be like your mom.
Yeah.
Get a license. Get the freedom.
So do you have a good relationship with their mother then? Or how's that?
Yeah, we've been good friends even after we broke up. And
Doing good co-parenting and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Great. That's so important.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What's been the best part about having 2 daughters?
Probably just the supportive transitioning. I mean,
So your daughters were supportive of your transition?
yeah,
That's awesome.
Almost.
way supportive, like way more than I thought they would be. They're
Yeah.
like, yay, now we can do makeup. I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
They're
Sure.
excited for
Yeah,
another mom.
exactly,
Yeah. Okay. So when did you transition then? What year was
2018 is when I started hormones.
it? Okay.
2019 I came out as trans publicly, and been out ever since. And I actually is an admin for Minnesota Trans Facebook group.
Oh, yeah? So you're active in the community for trans rights and information and stuff.
Yep, I am.
That's great. So growing up, did you always kind of know? Was there like a feeling inside of you that you were born in the wrong body, or when did that kind of?
It was more like, I guess you would say, like body dysmorphia, kind of.
Okay.
Like I didn't like my body. I felt gross and just didn't feel right. And I couldn't really put my finger on it till later in life, obviously. But I didn't even know what trans was until I was like 26 or whatever. I met my first trans women in Burnsville, where I lived there. And that was when I was kind of like, is that what I am? Kind of questioning it. And let's see, I think it was 2006
When you met that group?
when I came out to my parents as actually gay.
Okay.
Because I was like, that might be it. I don't know. Because at that point, I didn't know what it quite was. I felt empty and,
Right.
and
Something just was not right.
clicking.
Yeah.
So I was like, I guess maybe I'm gay. I don't know. And then I just felt more comfortable wearing girls' clothing. And the horrible part was my mom would always, every time we'd have like family get-togethers, it would be like, you better show up in boys' clothing. I was like,
Oh.
yeah.
So were your parents supportive in your transition, I guess is what I want to ask.
That's kind of a 50 question. They said they were, but they didn't show it.
And words not matching actions is
Exactly.
manipulation.
Yeah,
so.
because after I started transitioning, they, stopped inviting me to family get-togethers and stopped reaching out. But yet they would get mad at me because I wouldn't reach out to them. I was like, it's kind of a two-way street. Yeah.
And you're my parents, so you should be putting in the effort.
Yep, exactly.
That must have been really hard for you.
Oh, it still is. Yeah.
Like the not being accepted, Were you close with your parents before that?
Not exactly. Definitely not my dad, because my dad's love was more like, show me the money or give me the money, buy you new clothes, buy this, buy that, but nothing else really.
A lot of dads, I think, showed up like that. Yeah. So you weren't particularly close with either of them.
And my mom kind of pushed me aside, per se. Like, my brother was the, the show winner of the siblings, and
He's the golden child.
yep,
Okay.
always never studied for shit and got A's, and I studied like hard and got like D's. And it was hard, but
Was he your older brother or younger brother?
older. I'm the youngest of 6.
Youngest of 6? So how many brothers, how many sisters?
That's where it gets confusing. I have 2 stepbrothers, 2 half sisters, and a brother.
Wow. That's a lot of sibling competition, rivalry for attention.
But both my parents had multiple siblings too. So
Okay. Right, because your parents probably got divorced pretty early on then, because they split and moved cities.
yeah, they divorced when shortly after I was born. Honestly.
Okay. So since you've transitioned, what has been like the best part for you personally? Like, what has been the most fulfilling aspect of you coming out and transitioning and starting the hormones? What has changed your life the most in a positive way?
Just self-love, I think.
You love yourself more.
Oh yeah,
because you feel more comfortable
in my body.
In your body, yeah.
Love myself. I love people more. I just love for life. I don't know.
That's beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
What's been the hardest part?
Ooh,
I know it's a loaded question.
I would probably say public appearances, maybe, because it's the fear of acceptance or not accepting,
Right.
and
Yeah.
especially going in the girls' bathroom. It's like,
Right.
is a girl gonna like punch me in the face, like get out of here, But I personally here in Minnesota have not had very many problems with that.
Especially in the cities. When you get out into the boonies a little bit, it might change.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet that fear is tough because, like you said, you never know. People are still getting killed and having hate crimes committed against them for just trying to feel comfortable in their body.
There was one from Minnesota that got killed in New York the other week. So
Really?
yeah,
So
a trans
sad.
man. Yeah.
Imagine hating someone so much for them just living their life. Like I can't. That's so foreign to me.
I
Like
know. Like, why hate on somebody that finally loves themselves? And
yeah. Even if you don't understand it or you don't agree with it, why? Where does the hate come from? Do you think?
I think it's lack of education and knowledge.
Okay.
Because they think it's a choice and blah blah blah, but it's been medically proven that it's like an extra chromosome and all that.
And like honestly, who cares? Like how
Right.
you what makes you feel good?
And it's a little harder for me even so because I'm a trans Wiccan.
Oh,
So
so add Wicken to that.
Wiccan, yeah,
Yeah.
it's like oh,
Yeah.
so you don't even believe in Jesus.
So now the
Okay.
Christians really don't like you. Is what
No.
you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Well, I mean, not all of them. Obviously, there's some good ones. There's some bad ones of every
Yeah.
denomination, whatever.
Yeah.
So through your sexual exploration, where you're coming into yourself, you said that you came out as gay to your parents.
First, yeah.
I know that your sexuality and what you like can always be forever evolving, and it can change. Like next year, you could feel something completely different and be completely valid.
So I think it's always kind of a grayscale. So
Yeah. Oh, everything's a spectrum, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So where do you think you fall on that sexuality spectrum now? Currently, is more like maybe bisexual or pansexual?
Pansexual, yeah.
Okay. Where, and correct me if I'm wrong. Pansexual is just you find what you find attractive. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter their body parts, doesn't matter.
Yeah, as long as it's
It's just kind of the personality and kind of the
person
soul.
kind of touches on demisexuality and sapiosexuality.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Okay. So, do you identify personally as a bisexual woman then?
Yeah, pansexual, yeah.
Or sorry, yeah, pansexual woman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. And you've been in a relationship for 11 years, and with a couple breakups, but for the most part,
An open relationship at that.
open.
Yeah.
And so the open aspect, is that from the start or is that more recent?
No, that was from the start.
Okay.
That was my kind of like sign-on bonus. Like, you're going to do this or no?
Okay. So are you ethically non-monogamous or polyamorous?
Just non-monogamous.
Okay. So love is love is love. Okay. What's been the most challenging part for you having a primary partner in a dynamic like that with bringing other people in?
well, Tom wouldn't agree with me probably, but I would have to say probably jealousy.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of jealousy I can sense a lot of times. Because a lot of times they want me and not him, or but
I can't even imagine. Like jealousy, I would have to think anyone in an open relationship would have to be so confident and secure
Yes.
that any hint of jealousy could ruin everything. Is that where like the turbulence in your relationship has come from, you think?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Jealousy and then him not fully communicating with me. Like the cutting aspect that he does. And he just doesn't even open up to that.
Communication's hard. Yeah. But you're pretty good at it because you've been through DBT, correct?
Yep. Yeah, I have.
Dialectical behavioral therapy.
And normal, regular therapy.
And regular therapy, which I think everyone at home should go to.
Yeah.
It's beneficial for anyone.
At least for a year, yeah.
Oh, at least, yeah. And shop around for therapists, like
Oh yeah, I had like 8 different ones. It's like,
right. Oh, and
we got to find the right one.
oh my god, and when you have the wrong one, you'd lose hope in it and be like, this isn't gonna work until you
that sucks,
realize, date your therapist. You know,
And some people, like, I've noticed and heard that some people will stick with a bad therapist. Like, they're just like, it's just therapy, whatever. I hate it, but I'll go. I'm
Yeah.
like, well, you got to find the right one
Yeah.
that you click with, because I actually found a really good one, and then I had to stop going to them because they were all the way in Andover.
Oh, yeah. That's why I love these apps that are coming out now that like make it easier to connect you with a wide variety, make it easier to switch, like BetterHelp and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. But shopping around is important. Like for me personally, I need a female therapist. I know that just because that's who I'm comfortable expressing myself to. And I need them to have certain beliefs and stuff. All that matters a lot.
Well, like me, the LGBTQ, and
Yeah. Have you ever encountered a therapist that was kind of discriminatory or sexist or judgmental towards you with your transition?
no, because to be honest, I haven't really been to therapy since my transition.
Oh, really?
No.
Okay. Do you think you'd want to go back?
Ooh, I don't think so. I think I've kind of worked through things I've needed to,
Totally.
either on my own or with a therapist. So
Yeah. I think then we're probably at a similar point where I actually interviewed a therapist a couple weeks ago, and they said once you get to that point of healing, you get all the tools, you learn all the skills, then therapy becomes maintenance. It's like emergency.
And use them, yeah.
And use them.
yeah,
Yeah.
if you don't use them, it doesn't.
Yeah. Then what's the point?
Yeah.
But
Kind of just
I
going
mean,
through the motions at that point.
still, even if like you're fully healed, I think once a year, just to like check in.
Yeah, it's a
I don't know.
process.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Do you think your relationship with Tom would benefit at all from like couples therapy at all?
That's a loaded question too.
Yeah.
I mean, it could maybe, but that would be unbeneficial of him opening up and talking, because obviously I do.
Right.
I'm very open.
Yeah. And he's open too in the right settings when he's comfortable.
Certain situations,
So you think Tom could benefit probably from a little more therapy himself?
Oh yeah, or at least DBT.
Yeah. Oh my God, everyone. I think everyone needs to learn DBT.
Oh yeah,
Everyone.
everyone.
And imagine if someone who had no trauma, no issues, no addiction went to DBT. That's like a superpower. Like they'd level up. It's like, oh, you don't have to deal with any of the bullshit, and then you learn these tools. Like,
Don't believe magic? Go to DBT.
yeah. Totally.
Just boom.
Well, okay. So on the topic of magic, then, spiritually, religiously, like where do you align? How do you identify?
As Wicken.
Wiccan.
Yep.
And in modern terms, I guess we'd call that a witch.
Yeah,
Is
I
that-
guess. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. No. That's
Okay. So what led you to that spiritual practice?
Well, I did the Christian thing for years. I was raised Lutheran, and then in high school we went to this Christian. What do you call it? I don't know. I thought it was. Looking back, it's like a cult basically, but it was a Christian youth service called God's Barn. It was in Lakeville, and it was nice. I mean, you could just go and just have free pizza and Mountain Dew,
Yeah.
talk about Jesus, whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, he ended up like shutting down the place after a couple months, and it just kind of dissembled. So
How old were you when you went through that program?
let's see, maybe 18, 19, something,
Okay.
I think.
But growing up, did you go to church? Were your parents religious at all?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my mom was.
Okay.
My dad wasn't until recently. Like the last 2 years, he became really religious. It was
Comes in
awesome
waves.
because I was
Yeah.
like transitioning. He's like, and we're taking you off Facebook because you have a pagan tattoo. I'm like, really? Okay.
Yeah.
And then right after high school in 2007, when I graduated 2005, I went to live with my dad. My mom was basically like, I'm kind of done with you. Da 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 da. You're not showing any development. Blah blah. And you're depressed. Whatever. You're going to live with your dad. I was like, okay, sweet. Whatever. So I did that thing. That was a nightmare.
Are you in communication with your parents at all right now?
That's a sore subject too, but kind of. I mean, if I like tell my mom I have no food, she'll help me out. But otherwise, she doesn't really reach out.
Have you always felt like that kind of feeling of one-sidedness in your relationship with your parents?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They've always loved my brother more and all my siblings more than me. And there's actually 2 black sheeps in my family. There's me and then my stepbrother John. They just
Why-
kind of pushed us both out.
Why do you think your stepbrother was also disowned?
I think it was because me and him developed a meth use addiction.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, that's bad, you know. I'm like, and they didn't look at it as a mental health thing. They're just like, oh, you chose to do this. This is your life, you know. Goodbye.
Yeah.
We're not helping you, you know.
Yeah. I know.
Thanks.
That, yeah. I know that feeling all too well.
Makes it even
So,
worse, but
was there a history of substance abuse in your family, or is this kind of new, or that you're aware of?
Let's see.
Did either your parents struggle or grandparents or?
Grandparents, I didn't really know.
Okay.
My mom's dad died before I even was born, I think. And my dad's dad was kind of a crotchety old rich person that didn't really talk to really anybody but his, children or whatever.
Yeah. So, as someone who's also struggled with substance abuse, I'm curious, when did chemicals come into the picture, whether it's even a cigarette or your first drink? When did you start? When did you dip your toes into the world of substance?
Let's see, my first cigarette was when I was 16.
Okay.
Then when I was a junior in high school, I both got drunk and high on weed for the first time. Ironically,
Don't do those at the same time.
No, hell no. Especially for your first time.
Yeah,
oh my
yeah.
God.
Yeah, I know.
The world was breathing. I was
Dude,
like,
the first time I got high, ecstasy, mushrooms, weed, and drunk all in one night. Oh my God. That's a story for another time.
Like a death wish?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, totally. I did.
Oh my God.
Right. Why does anyone do drugs? Because they don't
Right,
want to feel,
yeah,
they don't want to be
feel,
alive. Yeah. So when did meth come into the picture then? When was that? What was your first experience with that and how was it introduced to you?
It was with a roommate that we had let come in, me and my girlfriend at the time. We lived in Rosemont, and we let this woman came in to our house. We let her in because she had a child. Her name was Presley. She was like 2 or 3, and she was methed out and just didn't take care of her kid. We're like, just come in here, and I ended up taking care of like my kids and her kid too. So it was a lot, but as I like to say, I was doing the drug, not letting the drug do me at the time.
There is a difference for sure.
Very.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people, actually, I love that you brought that up because that's not talked about too often.
No.
Where there is some control you can have within addiction.
About a control.
Whether or not it's, I mean, you're out of control with the addiction, but within the addiction. So you had your shit together like a functional.
Yep, exactly.
Functional meth head or.
And it didn't like distort my memory or distort my personality. I stayed the same.
Yeah. So how old were you when that happened then?
When it started?
Yeah.
Let's see, probably shortly it was right before I started dating Tom. So it was probably
12 years?
2017 maybe?
Okay. Wait, no. You said it was before you started dating Tom, and you've been with Tom for 11 years.
Mm-hmm. So it was like 12,
So
13
that'd
years
be
ago.
2013?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Are you still currently using, or when was the last time you had?
Weed?
I mean, I'm talking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but crystal.
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay. And are you happy that you're not using it?
Yes.
I'm glad I could finally get myself rid of that.
Yeah.
It was hard. It was really hard to quit.
I've
that.
seen it destroy.
Which is weird
people.
because I did cocaine back in my day too, and that I cold turkey that. No big deal.
Really?
Yeah.
And that's like the hardest one to cold turkey.
Yeah. Right.
Stimulants though.
Yeah.
uppers. So
Right.
you fancy the uppers.
Yeah, I did.
Me too.
Yeah.
There's uppers and there's downers, people.
I was
Yeah.
like,
Well, as I say, there's how's Adderall and Prozac people?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. Yep. There's cocaine and opiates, people. People who like to get low and slow down, and people who like to come up and speed up.
Yep.
So, so how long have you been clean off of crystal?
God, it's been about 6 weeks now.
Okay, awesome. And you feeling good? Feeling better? You're looking great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can just see it in your face and your eyes. Like you're doing great. I know it's one of the hardest ones too to stay clean from.
Oh my God, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Especially these days, it's like everywhere.
Is it?
And it's cheaper than weed.
That actually, I find that curious because people say it's everywhere. I hear that a lot, but I've never been offered or seen it even.
Oh God, I don't know what it is, but I was apparently attracted to fucking meth heads because
they'd be like, you're a nice person, cool. Let's be friends, okay? And then, oh, you do math too?
fuck.
Like, I guess so.
Well, you kind of accidentally stumbled into it because your roommate, and obviously you didn't move in with them because that was already a thing.
Right? No,
It just came out of nowhere.
no. My roommate's like, here, try this. I was like,
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, why? She's like, I want to give her a lot of fucking energy. I was like, sweet. Another time I was taking care of her kids and my kids. I was like, I can use energy.
So it was literally just a coincidence that you got
Started.
addicted to meth.
Mhm.
It's not your fault.
Yeah.
The life just put it in front of you, and
Yeah. I guess you could say, well, kind of,
I mean,
in a
you made
way,
a choice. But,
it's in a way, I guess you could say I have kind of an addictive personality.
right. That's what. Okay, so I've talked to people who don't have addictive personalities or have never struggled with any substance use at all, and they're genuinely confused about why, like, we are the way we are and how we turn to substances, and I'm genuinely confused about how they don't.
Right.
But what I've
Because
realized,
life sucks and you just don't want to feel sometimes,
yeah,
feel good, you know.
everyone's an addict, though. I think. Would you agree with that? But
Oh,
what
yeah,
they're addicted
addict to something.
yeah,
Candy, you know, whatever.
it could be an activity, a job,
Sex, you know.
working out.
Yeah.
I think we're all addicts, but there's more socially acceptable addictions.
Social norms. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's ones that are also more dangerous,
Keen upon, yeah.
like substances, which we've struggled with, could kill us.
Oh yeah, especially I'm glad I kind of got off. That's the highest reason I got off of crystal meth was because the they're mixing it with fentanyl now.
Oh my god,
Yeah, I'm like,
that's so counterproductive, right?
yeah, it's like, fuck.
Yeah, why are they
People are
putting
dying.
fentanyl on everything? Is it
People
cheap
are-
as fuck to make, or why? Like,
I know, right? But it's like, fuck, people dying and overdosing with
Yeah.
fentanyl. It's like, nope, don't want to be that. So, yep, time to quit.
yeah. But some people still are like willingly doing fentanyl every day. Like
Oh,
they're
yeah.
playing
Yeah.
Russian roulette
I've
with
seen
a
it.
gun to their head.
Yeah, they're literally like 360 change. Like they could be a bubbly person before they did, and then now they're just a zombie and just dead.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Ultimate
sad.
numbing. Yeah. It's heroin on crack. You
Yeah.
know? Yeah. So, personally, to me, it might be controversial, but I'd rather someone do meth than fentanyl. 100%.
100%.
And that, I don't want anyone to do meth.
No.
Just because I know how bad it is for you.
It's addictive.
I've watched people change and never come back. You know what I'm
I've
saying?
seen it
when
too,
people
yeah.
break from stimulants,
I've seen it. Yeah.
the point of no return.
I have a friend that still does it, unfortunately, and they do it with their husband or ex now, and their ex is a totally different person. Like, hits her and abuses her, and just it's horrible.
Drugs. This is where I want to come back to is like everyone's an addict, whether or not you're addicted to working, addicted to charity work or volunteering. But when it comes to substances, which is what we favor because it's easy, it's fast, you know, you can feel it right away.
Get it anywhere. Yeah.
I think that addiction gets a bad stigma for us because when it comes to a chemical, A, we could die, and B, we could hurt someone else.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
If you let it, yeah.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, like
You
if
know?
you let the drug do you, yeah.
And sometimes it's not letting, you know, it just takes over.
Takes over, yeah.
But everyone is one bad day away from being an addict,
Right.
a drug addict. You know?
Well, it's the same thing about like your demons, you know.
Yeah,
Everybody has demons. It's just how you deal with them and
yeah,
how you keep them away.
yeah, totally. So 6 weeks clean off of the crystal, which is great. Fuck yeah, congratulations. Little fist bump me. Yeah. But still California sober, doing a little weed every now and then. Maybe
we do green, yeah.
Okay, once in a blue moon, like a drink, or
No, it's probably
once every 2 years. Nah.
no, it's like I don't know.
You never struggle with alcohol though.
I did pre-transition.
Okay. So this is funny. Like you said, I have an addictive personality, and Britt, my ex-wife, actually, who I married in Vegas after knowing for a week, 10 years older than me. Great story. Both addicts also, but she introduced me to the principle of addicted to more, where we're not addicted to any one thing. We're addicted to more of anything. Sex, drugs, food.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
You like it? I love that.
I do. That's totally true.
Yeah. Once you start thinking about it like that, you realize I could abuse
totally.
anything. Oh, I jacked off 30 times yesterday.
Right.
Yeah. Or like, or I had a whole liter of vodka in an hour. Like,
Right.
yeah.
God, I once did fucking 24 shots of Jameson in a row.
Ugh.
Yeah, within like 2 hours maybe.
How was that visit to the porcelain god when you were praying over
next
it, just
morning.
puking?
Never again. I never touched Jameson again.
Oh,
That was
whiskey.
college, you
Can't
know.
do it. Yeah, it's college. Okay. What's been the hardest part with like your sobriety? What's been the most difficult thing? What's the most shameful aspect for you personally? I guess because it's different for everyone.
I guess the hardest part is actually finding sober friends.
Yeah, the
And,
community
yeah.
outside of religion specifically.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
And it's specifically hard for me because I'm trans, so it's like
Right, it's even
trans
harder.
sober.
You're making your bubble even smaller. Like
Yeah.
of people, yeah,
Because
totally.
unfortunately, a lot of the LGBT community does drugs
Yeah, totally.
because they're, not accepted and like, okay, fuck
Yeah.
life, let's feel good anyway.
So yeah, the lack of community. You think? I'd agree with that. That's
Yeah.
super true of a lot of people. I think if we all had the right people around us at all times, we'd never even feel the need to do it. You know?
I agree, 100%.
Yeah. It's
Or
powerful.
as I say, real 100.
Real 100. All right, so you're a Wiccan.
Yes.
Okay. Have you cast any spells recently?
I did actually, yeah.
Yeah. What was the last spell you cast?
It was a cinnamon spell, which is to, I guess, kind of grant you, or bringing money in, kind of per se.
Okay. So,
You do it on like the first of every month, and
what introduced you to the Wiccan community?
I did research after I was like, okay, the God thing's not for me.
So do Wiccans not have gods?
Oh yeah, we have many gods.
Okay. So you're just not that god.
Single, yeah.
Yeah.
Christian God, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Wiccans kind of are called to like different gods. Like me, I'm more called to like the Egyptian gods.
I love the Egyptian gods. Yeah.
Mine are more like Ra and Thoth.
And Ra is the goddess sun. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. Yep. He's the one with the Anubis
Falcon.
head.
No, he's got
dog head?
the falcon
He's
head.
the falcon. Okay. Yeah. And there's Su, Set, Ra. There's so many Egyptian gods. Yeah. So in your research, so you rejected your religion for whatever reason because you didn't feel like you were accepted. Something felt wrong.
I just kind of like, I was like, I did the praying thing, did this, did that, went to church, like, and my life was fucking shit already. I was like, oh, what the fuck? This isn't working.
Yeah. So when you were researching it, you still wanted to believe. You were just
something.
looking for the right thing to believe in that aligned with you.
Exactly.
And so you probably researched tons of gods, like Greek and
I researched
nomadic.
religions, actually.
all of them.
Most of them, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. In your research of religion, what stood out the most to you that you saw was wrong with all of them? Like was there a pattern in your research that you found?
Kind of. It was more so the misuse of kind of their religion, like kind of bending words and
Yeah. So it was how religion was used for control, maybe.
Yes, exactly.
Which there's a quote I'm gonna butcher and I'm paraphrasing. It's like religion for the stupid is a gateway, for the smart is a tool, and for the complacent is I already fucked it up. But okay, do you get what I'm saying with
Yeah,
that? Like
totally.
I agree, religion can be misused. And it has been historically, all of them.
and bent and
Bent and turned and to justify mass
anything.
executions and okay. But so you found the Wiccan community and faith to be more accepting and open.
Oh yeah, and they're more like love, nature, ye harm none. So as long as you're not like hurting anyone physically or magically, whatever, it's fine. It's
Yeah.
like it's just about love and being loved, and
Yeah. So do you still believe in like the quote unquote God? Do you still think that there is like one entity or being that is true? Because I studied religion too, and I align as a Buddhist. Buddha's right here.
Yeah, I actually
and what I've
like
found,
Buddhism.
Buddhism's great.
It's funny because I have my altar And I actually have a Buddhist book on my altar.
Oh yeah, because I think Buddhism is more of a like a user's hand guide to living life more than a religion.
Totally.
Yeah, they just teach you how to get by with it, and Buddhism's
And be
literally
happy
DBT.
doing it, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. But I still have faith in what I call God in my mind. But when I research religion like you, and I've prayed with people of Sikh, Muslims, Jews, and Christians, I've learned to pray with all of them. And what I've learned, the commonality between all of them is that their faith is what matters. The faith in
To
something
them.
bigger than themselves, even if you're identified as spiritual, like you have faith in the universe.
And that's kind of my feeling too. Like, as long as it makes you happy and, you know, you love and enjoy life, I don't care what you believe in. I don't,
Yeah,
you know?
it's that acceptance.
And that's kind of my goal with my kids too. Like, my kids, well, at least the older one is Christian. And I'm okay with that. Like whatever makes you happy, whatever, you know, floats your boat, it's okay with me.
Well, you're not going to hate them just because they don't like you, right?
Right.
Yeah, that
That'd be
just
kind of-
perpetuates the cycle.
That'd be kind of like sacrilegious or something. Like, I'm trans, but you can't be Christian.
Okay, that's actually funny. Okay, just to entertain that hilarious idea. Do you think there are sexist trans people?
Oh, I know there is. Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I know there's Trump loving trans. I'm like, that's kind of a head scratcher. I don't get it.
Yeah. Especially how they're so outspokenly against the community.
Yeah.
So with this recent election and our current political environment, what is the one thing that's most pressing on your mind? The most stressful thing, the hardest part about having a presidency that is anti you, or for lack of better words?
Probably just more fear of what's to come. Because it seems like he wants to just annihilate trans community and just abolish them and get rid of them. Because just, what was it, 2 weeks ago, Minnesota was actually trying to pass a reform to redefine gender. And it was a male and a female, and that was it.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so more on your transition there, because I do believe that, you know, there's two sexes, and then hermaphrodites. There's exceptions where you get a little more or a little less of whatever. But I mean, presenting wise, like sexual organs wise, there is two sexes, right? But at the same time, I respect anyone's want or desire to feel more comfortable in themselves. So I had a question there. Sorry. Do you agree that there are two genders, or do you think I mean, how do you define gender? What is gender to you?
Gender, I think for me would be just how you feel, how you are, how you be.
I guess there we go. Is like, what do you think the difference is in gender identity mentally and physically? Would you classify them differently?
No, I think they're one and the same.
So how you think and how you feel, I would wager, what if you had a mental gender identity and a physical one? So you were born physically a male, but mentally your gender identity is feminine. So I think that...
Well, that was my issue too.
Okay. So it was a divide between your mind and your body.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely.
I'm just strictly speaking, like scientifically and like from the dictionary of like how they say man, woman's, boys got a dick, girls got a pussy, you know, like that's where I think people get really hung up, because they're like, there's only two sexes because dicks and pussies, and but they don't think about the brain, which is huge.
Huge mental,
Yeah.
Mental illness is not really widely, talked about. At least in my family, it wasn't.
It's definitely not.
No.
That's why I like to bring it up on my show, because like the more we talk about it and the more people see opinions and perspectives that they are not familiar with, the better.
And that is why I am the admin to Minnesota Trans Group on Facebook, because I am more about teaching and educating people about like the trans community.
Totally. But I think a lot of people don't want to learn. You know,
It's
like
true.
it's
They don't.
ignorance.
Ignorance for bliss.
Yeah. a lot of people just genuinely aren't curious. They don't question. They're not like, why does this work? Like some people see a TV and they're like, what makes that? Why does it light up? How can I change channels? And some people see a TV and like, that's a TV, and they walk away.
See, that's me. I'd be like, how does it work? What's the internet work?
Yeah, see, you got that
I want to
curiosity.
take it apart and put it back together.
Yeah. So I think that's the bigger divide in society right now is the curious and the complacent.
Totally, 100, real 100.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. So you're fully transitioned now since 2018,
Yep.
and you're in a polyamorous relationship with your primary partner, Tom, who identifies how sexually? Is he pan or bi?
Pansexual.
Okay, also pan. And you, I've heard you recently. You just brought in a third partner.
We did, but no, she's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kicked her out.
I heard through the grapevine she suffered from schizophrenia, paranoia.
She did, yes.
Yes.
And BPD as well.
Oh, yeah. That's a tough one. Yeah.
And she also suffered from what was it? When you can't help but stealing.
Can't have a what?
Stealing things.
Oh, kleptomania.
Yep.
Yep.
She stole everything, and that's why we kicked her out. We're like, and then she wouldn't give it back, or be like, I have a job. I don't need to steal. Why? I'm like, well, then why did I find it in your stuff?
Yeah.
She's like, I don't know.
Well, then also pathological lying, maybe.
Yeah, she totally was. Yeah, that too.
Well, that's the thing. I know. Mental health it's a curious thing.
It's a grayscale.
Everything's a spectrum. Like I hate that we're like, oh no, autism's a spectrum. Well, we're getting there. We're like, sexuality's a spectrum. I'm like, dude, we're all a spectrum. My coffee's a spectrum. You think the coffee I had yesterday is going to be the same coffee I had today? No.
Light's a spectrum. You know?
Light, it literally, wave, audio, everything's a spectrum. Yeah. Once people start to think in less like black and white and more rainbow, more chromatic, life gets a lot better.
I like that.
Yeah. Thinking rainbow. Yeah.
Thinking rainbows, not black and white, for sure. Okay. So what do you do for a living? Are you working right now?
I am not right now.
Okay.
I was for 3 years doing PCA homemaking.
Personal care assistant?
Yep.
Okay.
But me, I was not like the physical, like lifting and shit. I was more like the cleaning and cooking side of things.
Mm-hmm. More of the like home care stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. And how long have you been out of work then?
About 6 weeks or so.
Okay.
6 to 8 weeks.
Okay. What's been the hardest part of you being unemployed right now?
Finding a job, especially right now being trans. It's even more harder.
I was gonna ask. Yeah. Is it difficult finding a job as a trans woman?
Oh yeah, the last 6 years have been difficult for me, just job wise, because the only reason I got a job for the last 3 years was a friend of mine had a cataway room. Was like, hey, you want to clean for me? I was like, sure. And that's what I was doing. And that's why I'm out of job, because the friend was like, well, I'm not going to hire you anymore.
I'm like, oh, okay.
Was it because of your identity or
No. Oh, no.
other reasons?
Probably other reasons. I honestly don't know, but
have you ever
but I'm kind of the it is what it is kind of
mentality.
Yeah.
That's the only way you can live to get by.
Yeah.
Have you ever dressed masculine just for an interview to present yourself? Have you ever gone back in your transition backwards just to try and get acceptance?
Oh, no.
So would you ever untransition, or are you like, this is me?
This is me.
Unapologetically.
Yep.
Yeah. Till you die.
It's sad because with the Trump era, I have heard and seen people that are detransitioning.
Yeah.
It is horribly sad.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on the take from more of the red Republican side that transsexuality is a mental illness?
I would say probably go suck it.
Like, I mean, it's a portion of it, yes. But it is more like a mentality, maybe? Because it's more than just mental health. It's mannerisms, it's thinking, it's everything.
It's how you feel. It's how you're comfortable.
Exactly.
Yeah. I was just curious because I don't know. I've never had the opportunity to ask someone who's transitioned that question. And I was always genuinely curious because I think literally anything could be a mental illness.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think we're like fast and loose with throwing around mental illness in America now.
Well, yeah, because there's, the pharmaceuticals are just like money, money, money for pills.
Oh my God, it's the only reason. What is it?
Here's a
Pfizer's
pill,
been
here's
in
a-
business for over almost 200 years and they haven't cured a single disease.
Right.
It's a for-profit fucking industry. And if you're stupid, they don't want to cure your depression. They want you to take medication for it the rest of your life.
More and more, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for asking. I know it's a sensitive subject, and well, I'm really happy for you, and I'm proud of you for like being so resolute and in your commitment to your decision for you, because literally it's no one else's business. And if it makes you happy, like, do not let society or anyone bully you into going backwards. And
No, I
I
will
think that's
never.
really important.
I am me and me is we. So
So if you had one piece of advice to give out to someone who might be questioning their sexuality or considering transitioning, what is something that you felt you would have needed to hear in that time? And what do you think, if you were talking to a younger you, what would you want to tell them about that journey and that decision?
it's definitely not easy, and it definitely gets harder. But definitely keep your head up and keep forward, and it does get better.
Yeah. Does get better.
There is light at the end of the tunnel.
I love that. I love that because I think that's true for everything. Anyone who's struggling with anything, that faith that it does get better. This can't last forever. You've been
Right.
sad, you've been happy, and you will change again. It's just a wave. Ride that shit.
It's a wave, yeah.
Yeah. Great. So I know you're involved in animal rescue, right?
Yes, I've been involved for about 15 years now for animal rescue.
15 years. Wow. What brought you to that?
Probably my previous relationship. She was just an animal person too, and she just would be like, "I'm gonna start breeding guinea pigs, and we're gonna take care of guinea pigs," and then a couple years later, we're gonna do cats, and then
Yeah.
So I've been doing small pocket and dogs and cats rescue and birds now and ferrets and all sorts of animals throughout the years.
So did you have a genuine connection with animals and love for them before that partnership, or was that kind of what sparked it?
I had a love for nature and animals way before her, yeah.
Okay. She just was the one who brought like rescue into the picture for you
Yep.
and helping. And
Yep,
stuff.
volunteering, yeah.
So it's so funny. Sorry. I'm just thinking about all the people in my head who would be judging you and hating you for no reason, who have never helped a single living soul in their life. And yet you're here living your life in a really hard time to be just who you are. And yet you're still going out of your way to help helpless creatures. Like, that is a huge testament to your character. And that speaks more volumes.
And other people too. So
Yeah. I mean, yeah. But yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And
what
what
do you,
makes me happy, so
so after like rejecting Christianity and coming to Wiccan as your practice for faith, what are your thoughts on the concept of destiny and free will versus like fate? Like, how much of life do you think is predetermined, if at all, and how much of it do you think is in your control? Do you think certain things had to happen and were going to happen no matter what?
I don't know if they would happen no matter what, but I do think certain things should happen to people. And I also believe the universe would not give you anything you cannot handle.
Do you think the universe tests people too?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I believe that too. I think the universe tests us, and I think if you didn't learn the lesson you were supposed to, it's gonna keep coming
going,
back until you fucking do.
And I think that was maybe my transition too for me, because ever since I've transitioned, everything's kind of aligned in life, and I'm happy, and I'm genuinely happy and enjoy life now. It's a new beginning, really.
But with that genuine happiness also comes some fear.
Fear and,
Gosh, so many feelings.
Yeah,
Fear, sometimes neglect, I guess.
but it's worth it.
Oh, yeah.
The happiness outweighs the fear.
The fear and the, yeah.
that I think that's the huge takeaway is
courage.
you're letting happiness win.
Yeah.
Which fear is the root of every problem. Racism,
Happiness and courage,
sex.
like-
Yeah, you're choosing happiness.
Hell yeah.
I think that's so important. Yeah.
Who wouldn't? You know, like,
Lots of people don't choose happiness. Lots of
That's
people
true.
live in fear and hate other people because they're afraid. It's easier to yell at someone than to face the fire.
And I think that some people, because I've been aligned with things and genuinely happy, they see that and want that. And they've tried to bring me and Tom down with them. I had a recent so-called friend from our old place call me in for EBT fraud because she was generally wanting what me and T have and trying to take us down with her.
She reported you at no benefit to herself.
Right, that I was selling EBT for money.
So purely just to bring you down because you were happy.
yep.
Some people don't want to see other people succeed. They just want everyone to suffer like them. Yeah.
And honestly, that was me pre-transition.
Until you found yourself and got
Yes.
that confidence.
Yeah. Totally.
That's amazing. What have been some pieces of art throughout your life, be it songs, movies, or books that have really stuck with you and been impactful? Is there a movie or song specifically that has been really huge in your life?
An artist, probably.
A specific artist?
Yes.
Yeah, who is that?
Pink, probably.
Pink! Oh my God, I haven't heard anyone mention Pink in so long.
I fucking love Pink.
Yeah? Why was Pink such an inspiration for you?
Because she kicks ass, takes names, and, you know, does what she wants, and
Strong,
she don't
independent
care.
woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's Pink doing these days? Are you staying up to date on Pink details?
Oh, God, no. There's, like, new songs I've heard from her. I'm like, what? I
Yeah.
don't even know that existed.
Okay.
But
Are there any historical figures that you look up to at all?
That comes to mind, not really, no.
To bridge off that, if you could have dinner with one person, living or dead, celebrity, someone you know or don't know, if you could have one meal with anyone in the world, anyone through history, who would it be and why would you want to have that conversation?
Oh, wow. Oh, let's think. That is such a loaded question. I don't know. That's hard.
Do
so
you have
many.
multiple people coming to mind? Is that why you say it's
Yeah.
hard? Give me a top three then. You don't have to do number one.
Probably one would be my mom's mom, my grandma. She passed away in 97. She, at the time, like, was my only friend and my best friend. And I took it hard, and the hardest thing is that I had a chance to say, like, my goodbyes, and I chose not to, and that...
Yeah. I know that
That
pain all
fucks-
too well, dude.
Yeah, that fucks you up.
Oh my God. I still live with that one.
Yeah.
That's why my choice is my mom for the same exact reason. So I get it.
Yeah.
And that would be just purely for like closure, just to like shoot the shit with like someone you love and
Yeah.
to get a second chance to say what you wanted to say, but you
Yeah.
weren't prepared to.
Exactly.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah, and then another one would probably be Pink.
Yeah. Okay. Right. And what would you ask? What would be your first question for Pink?
Oh, gosh.
One question. What is it?
What is her drive and motivation?
Yeah. What gets her out of bed?
Yeah, what
What
makes
inspires her?
her inspires her and makes her do what she does. Like, she just does what she wants, and
Yeah.
that's the norm for her. It's like, wow.
Wish
It's that confidence. It's
Yeah.
attractive in anyone.
Yeah.
Confidence and passion. Oh, I don't care if you're a man, a woman. I don't care how you identify.
Right.
I see a woman who loves her craft, who is passionate about it, and I'm like, and she's confident.
And walks
I'm
with her
like,
head held high, like, I'm the shit. Yeah.
like I'm lucky right now to be dating a woman who is
Yeah.
confident and passionate in her craft. And every time I see her perform, I go gaga, you know?
Right, yeah.
On this kind of note of people of note for you, is there a trans role model in the community who's really inspiring to you?
I can't really think of one.
No, like idols in the community who have I don't know, outspoken or no glam dolls, no drag queens, no
Not
nothing.
that I can really think of. None that I looked up to or no.
No.
It's
Okay.
just kind of been me.
I was just curious because I feel like most people have like an idol when it comes to like a socially progressive thing. Like,
I'm sure most people do. Me, I
Yeah.
just did me and
yeah,
didn't give a fuck. And
yeah.
it is what it is, you know.
It is what it is. Is what we say to not cry, right? Um, what has been your biggest regret in life so far, if you have any? What's one thing if you could go back and change or do differently that you would? The number one.
Ooh, let's think.
Like
Let's
I
see,
wouldn't have gotten on
probably
that bus that day, or I would have not called that person, or I
to
would have.
never probably have started crystal meth. That was
That was the one.
yeah. That
me.
was
That's been the hardest one.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was my downfall for what 10 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
And towards the end, it was almost, changing me and my personality. And
Yeah.
that's what made me like,
Totally.
whoa, no, I can't do this.
Yeah. That's powerful. I agree with you.
Because I saw, friends around me like say things and they're like, and I'd be like, what the fuck?
Like, where did that come from? You're so fucked up in the head. And then they're
Well, I
like,
think it's because you're so self-aware that you were able to like see that stuff and get out of where you were.
And they were just too far gone and didn't see it. Yeah.
Didn't want to.
Yeah.
Couldn't. Yeah. And okay, to flip it, we got dark. Thank you for sharing.
you're fine.
My biggest regret is the first cigarette I smoked. I wish I never would have done that shit.
Oh God, no. Yeah, that too.
Yeah. What's your biggest accomplishment? What's the thing you're most proud of in your life so far? What's the thing like you would put on a shirt, you'd write down in your bibliography as like this, the fact that I did this, I love that I did that. What's that thing?
Gosh, does it have to be just one?
No, top threes. I do top threes.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I would probably say probably transition.
Okay.
Because that was big turning point in my life. Because before I was like dark, hated everybody, hated my life, hated my body, and drinking till I passed out every day, and try to take people down with me when I went down, and it was bad. I was just an asshole and a dick. Pre-transition, and now totally different. Like I'm the love of the light, and kind of the social butterfly, and it's just a way different person. And then I'd probably say smoking too.
Yeah. Totally. I can see that. I mean, I don't know because I didn't know you pre-transition, but right now you're a great person and I can support everything you just said for sure. So you had multiple things come to mind though, because you asked, do I have to just say just one? So what are the other two things you're most proud of, your accomplishments or your feats? Or...
Finally kicking meth. That was big too.
Yeah.
Very big, especially now that it's laced with fentanyl and another reason I kind of quit was because I saw my circle at the time. Now they're not. I don't talk to any of them anymore. But I saw my circle kind of like changing for the worse. They're like been homeless for 20 years and and all this and that. And I asked them, so why are you homeless? And why have you chosen to been homeless this long? And they said, it's the drug. I'm like, that is so sad.
They like gave up all hope and thought they were powerless. But you realized within you still had that control.
And
It's
I didn't want to lose it because I didn't want to be like them.
Yeah. I don't think they lost it. I don't think they ever had it. Like, you either do or you don't.
Or they just let the drug do them and they got lost and they can't help but get high every day.
Yeah.
And they don't have that control like I do.
Yeah.
Or did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lifelong thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Oscar Wilde said everything in moderation, including moderation.
Yeah,
So
I like
it's a
that,
fine
too.
line because we wouldn't be sitting here today talking with all these lights and cameras if it wasn't for meth, cocaine, Adderall, chemicals, booze. Like, unfortunately,
Pills, drugs, and sex. You know.
all these chemicals that we shun and look at so negatively actually have shaped and formed society.
Oh, yeah.
And we wouldn't have
Well, look at
technology without it.
shrooms and weed, you know. Hey, the shroom weed.
Well, we're getting close to the end of our time. I want to just, again, thank you so much for being open and candid and expressing
Yeah.
all being so vulnerable. And I hope
I'm
someone...
an open book, so, you know.
Would you?
I said I'm an open book, and as long as it can, you know, reach somebody or help somebody, that's what I'm here for.
That's why I'm here
Education.
too. Education. But like we were talking about earlier, like some people don't have the drive, the desire to be educated. They want to live in ignorance and bliss.
That's true, but then you just kill them with kindness, you know?
Exactly. I know. I love that
hate
about
that.
you. Yeah, we're so similar in that aspect. Yeah. All right. So just to wrap it up, a couple more questions. Okay. First and foremost, if you could say one thing to the people that hate you, you could call them Republicans, you could call them the right or the ignorant. If there was one thing you'd want them to know about you empathetically, what would it be? If the camera's all yours, what would you want to tell them from the bottom of your heart? And not fuck you, let's fight, bitch. Like, you know, like,
no.
yeah.
I'm not, well, I can be that kind of person.
If there was one thing, if you had an audience of every person that hated you was in front of you and you had a microphone, what would be the one thing you'd want to tell them to try and convince them that you mean no harm?
I mean, I hate to be kind of a bitch, but I'd be like, I'm still on top.
Yeah.
I'm still me.
So you just let the confidence ride? Mm-hmm. Okay. So you
Because
take
that
middle finger up.
would kill him the most. Because, you know, everyone's trying to drag me down and wanted what I have. And I'm like, no, you ain't getting it.
Do you hate them too? For
No.
hating you?
No, I don't.
No?
That's kind of what the Wicken way is. It's like, love everybody, no matter what.
Yeah.
And people hate that, let me tell you.
Oh, it drives them wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, you should be angry right now. Why aren't you, you know, down, depressed, whatever? I'm like, because I don't let it get to me.
Yeah.
I ride the happiness and think positive, and that's all you really can do.
That's your most envious quality right there. That's why people hate people, is because they envy what they don't have, and that's probably why.
They don't think positive. They can't think that way, and it's surreal to them. They're like, what?
Yeah.
You're going to be happy? What?
Yeah.
And
I'm not happy. Why are you happy? Fuck
Right.
you.
You're living paycheck to paycheck, but you're happy? I don't get it.
Oh, you don't have mansions and Lamborghinis? Like,
Right.
but you're still happy? Like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Yeah, I get
Well, I
it.
have a very supportive boyfriend, and
He is a great guy, I have
Yeah.
to say. I know you have your struggles, but
we
Tom's
do,
an
but
amazing man.
we're a team. What I don't think of, he does, and vice versa. And
Yeah.
we're just a great team and
Yeah.
power couple. We're
You're
coming.
doing great. You're doing great. All right, final question of the night. Yeah, you might know what it is if you've listened to previous episodes, but it's ethics. Would you kick a puppy as hard as you could, knowing full well you will probably kill that puppy to save 100 strangers' lives?
Nope, I couldn't do it.
Never.
Never.
Nah, me neither. Yeah, I agree with you.
No.
You're choosing not to cause harm to
Right.
an animal.
Yep,
You're
and
not
that's-
hurting those people. They're,
That's the Wicken
gonna
way.
die.
Ye harm none. That means animals too.
So harm none. So when it comes down to ethics, questions like that, if it was any scenario where it was posed to you, would you hurt this person to save these people? You'd choose no.
Nope.
No.
Never.
Good. So you're not Hitler.
No, hell no.
That's great. Awesome. All right. So can I get a picture of you to throw you up on the wall of legends?
Hell yeah.
All right. So pose pretty here. I think I got one more in the chamber. Great. Evie, thank you so much for coming on tonight.
Yeah,
It's been a
thank
pleasure.
you for having me.
Yeah, of course.
The Common Legend is a podcast for